This is episode number 489 of the Health and Fitness Podcast by InnerFight, brought to you in association with Smith Street Paleo. Hop over to smithstreetpaleo.com and check out all the yummy goodness for your tummy. So guys, if you're looking still for a big goal for 2019, then I might have something for you here. We've teamed up with Ultra X to give you a special rate on the races that these guys are organizing this year. They organize 250k 5-day races. It's a race series which are held in exotic and inspiring locations around the world, and they actually culminate with a biannual World Championships. It's super awesome, and I can vouch for this, that taking on a multi-day ultra in a far-flung corner of the earth is probably one of the greatest experiences that you can have. And now that Ultra X are making these experiences more accessible for all, it's definitely something that you should be considering for 2019. In this year, they have races in Sri Lanka, Jordan, Mexico, and they'll be adding 2 races to the series each year, with Bolivia and the Azores getting released in the summer of 2019. So if that really does sound like something that you are interested in, we have a discount code which will get you £200 off the races. You can hop over, have a look, ultra-x.co. The Sri Lanka race is the first race, which is on the 13th of April. You get £200 off using our code INNERFSL19. Go and check it out. Get involved. I'm looking forward to racing some of their races this year, and hopefully we'll see some of you guys there. Welcome back to another edition of the weekly update show, and this show is absolutely packed. We are the first week in January. Happy New Year again. Hope you caught the show on Thursday, show number 488, where Andre and I were talking all about goals and getting you ready for 2019. Hopefully you are already ready. However, we hope that that show does help you out a little bit if you're struggling. A massive welcome to the year. And again, I hope that the first week for everyone was a successful week and that you are literally at the races with all of your goals. I think one of the things that makes achieving your goals in January and for the year is understanding really the reason for change. I was reading a little bit about this the other day, where a lot of people are saying, January the 1st, it's all good, it's the right time, but that's only a date. It could be any day. If you're going to make successful changes and you're going to start on a new path and get some of your goals, then I think you first up really need to understand the reason for change. I think that's a really helpful one. Looking back a little bit and some information I wanted to share with you. We spoke a few weeks ago in December, about the Dubai CrossFit competition, and I came across quite an interesting article which I want to share on this week's update show, which gave us the winning purse for the Dubai CrossFit competition. And I've pulled off the top 3 earners of male and the top 3 female earners to give you guys an idea of what people at the top of the sport of CrossFit are actually earning. Now, this is quite interesting, and I think this happens in a lot of sports as well, where the top guys earn quite a lot for the competition, but the guys further down the ladder, which a lot of people might agree is absolutely fine and that's the way it should be, don't really earn too much at all. Now, there are about 40 males and 40 females in the Dubai CrossFit competition, which took place in Dubai on the second weekend of December. Looking to the male category, the winner was Matt Fraser, who walked away with $100,000, which is quite a reasonable amount of money for a weekend's work. That competition was about 4 days' work. Second place was Björgvin Carl Gudmundsson, who took home $33,000. So 33% of what Matt Fraser took home in first place. And in third place was Willie Georges, who took home $26,000. It quite quickly, I think it was just outside the top 10, where the competitors were down to just $1,000, which they all got paid $1,000 to come and compete in the competition here in Dubai. And that actually would have gone to taking care of all of their airfares, all of their hotels, all of their expenses whilst they're here in Dubai. So if you're outside of the top 10, you're just taking home around $1,000. But if you're inside the top 3 there, especially Matt Fraser, he's come first, he has pocketed $100,000. So quite remarkable, really. Quite a lot of money at the top there. If you look to the female side of things, it's not too much different. In this competition, there was exactly the same prize purse available, 4 males and 4 females. And Sam Briggs, the winner, walked away with $92,000. Jamie Green from down the road in Abu Dhabi at CrossFit Yas walked away with $40,000. And Sarah Sigmundsdottir walked away with $29,000. So how much money is in the sport of CrossFit? At the top, there's quite a lot. But overall, I think if you're outside of the top 10, I think our good friend Boz, our coach from here at InnerFight, walked away with just $1,000, so not that much at all. Talking about competition, there is more competitions heating up. Remember, the Dubai CrossFit competition was a sanctioned event. It was the first CrossFit sanctioned event, and both Matt Fraser and Sam Briggs, for winning, they secured their ticket to the 2019 CrossFit Games. There's 2 more coming up very soon. On next weekend in Bahrain, of all places, there is a competition called WOD Mayhem, which is a sanctioned event. And also the Wadapalooza starts on the 17th of January. That's I think it's in Miami, in America. So there's 2 more big competitions. If you're interested in those sanctioned events, they are the ones that are coming up. And then the one after that, which I'll give you updates on close to the time, is the one that Andre's going to in South Africa, and there's also one on a similar weekend. I think it's the Australia Day weekend down in Australia. What I was actually, when I was down in Australia, I was speaking to a guy who's heavily involved in the CrossFit scene down there. And just to give you guys some idea on these sanctioned events, if you were wanting to host one, the word on the street is, the rumors are that you would pay somewhere in around $100,000 licensing fee to CrossFit just to host one of the events. If anyone knows that that's true, please let me know. If anyone debates it or doesn't think it's true, please let me know as well. But the word on the street is that to have a CrossFit sanctioned event, you are up for $100,000 licensing fee before you have done anything. So absolutely, that is quite a lot of money, and you can understand why maybe CrossFit have outsourced it or asked other people to take care of those competitions. Anyway, coming back in-house to look at the programming this week, we have a very special week. We have the New Year No Weakness Week. It's similar to a Hell Week. The programming, Matt has put something together. I might have had a little bit of input in this one with him, but 5 solid days of programming this week. Some really tough workouts, but also a chance. You've got there on Monday a chance to max out in your clean, and also on Monday you're going to see the bear complex come out, so that's something not to miss. Tuesday you've got a lot of legs again before we give your legs a little bit of a rest on Wednesday with, a little bit different. You've got a 10 rep max bench press, so that's super nice. Tomorrow Sunday, or today Sunday, kicks off with a chipper as well, so a nice longer workout before we finish up on a Thursday with a partner workout. Remember, Thursday is Bring a Friend for Free Day. We could have called it Save a Life Day. Last year, John Dunn's life was saved when his friend brought him to the gym. It's been a year that Johnny's been at the gym with us now, and what an epic transformation he has been. Check him out in this month's newsletter and read all about him. But that's the New Year No Weakness Week that's happening this week at the gym. Don't forget, there's also gymnastics classes on Monday, weightlifting classes on Wednesday. And if that's all not enough, which hopefully we don't see too many people getting involved, the 1,000 rep challenge is still going on. You've got the whole month to do it, but I would suggest that you don't spend too much time on it during the next week, because you might be suffering a little bit. Go into the gym anytime you want, do the 1,000 rep challenge. And if you are not in the country or don't come to the gym, even if you are in the country and don't come to the gym, you can do the 1,000 rep challenge, wherever you want. Just let us know that you've done it. Don't lie. Don't cheat on your reps. Do it properly, and we will stick you up there on the Hall of Fame. We're looking forward to having as many people as possible involved in that. If you're looking for Boz's Fat Loss Challenge, it is coming up. There's a lot more being punched out about that. Starts on the 12th next weekend. Give her an email, or email winning@innerfight.com to hear all about that. For those of you that are in Dubai, some stuff to do that we've picked up on this weekend. Amanda's been out to Hatta, and she spent some time out on the Hatta mountain bike trail. Fully recommends that activity. We've had people out this weekend in Shoka. They've been walking around Shoka. they fully recommend that activity as well. I was out in Al Qudra where I saw people running, walking, and also saw our marketing girl, Laura, riding a bicycle. Imagine that. Out at Al Qudra, there is plenty to do, and it is beautiful weather out there. I think it got down to about 15 degrees, so nice and cool. And stay tuned. Our friend Tufik might be back very soon to take us on some hikes in the bigger mountains up in Ras Al Khaimah. Other stuff that's been going on this weekend, let's have a listen to Tom Walker, who talks all about this weekend's endurance camp.
So the weekend was a local training camp held in Dubai for any of the InnerFight Endurance Triathlon guys. It was held as a replacement for the Hatta camp that we were meant to run, but actually worked out to be probably better because more people could make it. And it's basically held as a big training weekend, the last possible time to have a really big training weekend before Ironman 70.3 Dubai, and kind of the marathon as well in terms of the running side. So what people got out of it was being able to put in a higher training load. They knew it was going to be coming up. They had the group to motivate them, and you're able to do a big bike in the morning, a run in the evening on the Friday, and then the Saturday we organised a swim run as the second swim didn't happen. But what the training camps do is it kind of lets you focus in on actually achieving goals within the session. So normally you'd have your usual bike and run on a Friday that most people get used to doing, and then on Saturday our normal sea swim, and then sometimes some people have a run. But we actually gave them a set goal. So the first bike ride was a 50 kilometer time trial, and that's quite hard to do on your own. You need people around you to motivate you, and so that's what the group mentality did for people, is it let them focus in on it. And then it was 50k easy for them, and some people did a little bit extra. And the run in the afternoon, again, quite a hard run, a negative split run, which has helped just a bit more by having people around you, and again really lets you focus in on what you're doing. That's kind of what makes the weekend so good, is you know in advance that it's happening, so you get a bit of pressure taken off you in terms of a family point of view, or you can plan for it. So everything else can be put on the back foot and you can purely focus on training. You keep a good mentality because you've got to show up. There's a time to start and a time you're going to be done by, whereas most people for training on the weekend, they kind of roughly know what time they'll do it in the morning. But here we actually had time sessions, you needed to be there. There was a briefing, there was a start time. So that's why it's very good. And like today, we can sort of manipulate race conditions. So people ran 20k today. Some people actually extended it to a half marathon, which is what they're going to do at Dubai 70.3. Plus they did a first swim, sort of kilometre, 500 out, 500 back, which again is going to be very similar conditions to what 70.3 is like.
Lovely update there from Tom. Plenty of reasons why people should get involved in that. And as he said, a great way to train with a bunch of people. I actually have an ultra camp coming up next weekend. If anyone's interested in ultra camp, drop an email, win@innerfight.com with the title Ultra Camp, and I will get back to you and tell you if you can be involved in that or what it's all about. And then you can tell me if you want to be involved in that. That's coming up next weekend, and I'll give you a load of details after as well when we've done it, how the guys got on. Some other resources, people have been asking me a lot, and I just want to wrap up with this. Other podcasts that I recommend, I've found 2 this week that are actually quite cool, and I suggest you go and have a listen to. One is by Nike, the Nike Train podcast, which is, they've had some super cool guests on there. I listened to one the other day with Dr. Rhonda Patrick, who knows many, many things. And a podcast that I was actually on and got released just yesterday, the Empowered Body podcast. Super interesting show. And I went back through, obviously you should listen to the show that I was on, but if you have had enough of my voice, go and listen to some of the back shows there. There are some super interesting guests and some very good shows there. Adam is a great host. I'd really recommend that podcast. Books as well. People have been talking about it. A lot of people have been asking me. It seems that the thirst for people to read, to learn, and to absorb more in January is at its all-time high. New year, you know the rest. Books that I would recommend. I've recently read David Goggins' new book called Can't Hurt Me. On the outset, this guy might seem like quite a loudmouth American. I found him quite interesting since I first found him on YouTube a number of years ago, and the first couple of hours of his book, the first few chapters of his book, will really make you think quite differently. I really do recommend Goggins to you. It's called Can't Hurt Me. And if you like his book, then a book I read last year, I think in the middle of last year or early last year, was a book by a guy called Jesse Itzler, and that is, I think it's Itzler, called Living with a SEAL, where he actually gets David Goggins, who is a previous Navy SEAL, to live with him for 30 days. It's absolutely amazing. Good read. If you have any books that you are reading that you like, you want to recommend to everyone else, wherever you're listening to this, just post them in the comments sections, post them in the comments over on Instagram, wherever you are listening, or just drop us an email, winninginnerfight.com, and I will recommend those books and podcasts next week. Until next week, have an awesome week. Please continue to share the show with as many people as you can. Tag us where you're listening, how, when you're listening, so that we can post you. And generally, just be awesome. Thanks a lot for tuning in.